Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If it's your first time here, you like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications before we go live or post videos, tap the bell. And if you want to join the UVH fam, links are below in our description to our Discord, our free options trading group, along with our Patreon. If you're here right now, say word up. Billy, how you doing today? What's going on? We're just getting things going. First trading day in December. Jeff, how you doing? We're getting ready to, close 2019 off. Kelly, how you doing? Nice to see you. Nice to see everyone. Hope you guys had a good holiday. Got anything for Black Friday or Cyber Monday? Actually, I got an espresso machine. I've been drinking like 4 cups of coffee a day now, just testing out all the flavors. And I'm having double shots of espresso, single shots of espresso. That's why in the last stream we're going to be taking it easy, just with water, basically lemon water. But yeah, I got an espresso machine for Black Friday for like $100, and been making cold foam, been making hot foam. Keith got paid. If you made money today, comment got paid. If you lost money today, comment learned a lesson. Dow's down 280, NASDAQ down 100, S&P's down 29. Got paid, then learned a lesson. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think that Trump's rampage this morning kind of caught us all off guard. In the back of our mind, we know there's a trade war, but because they've been so quiet about it, we really haven't thought about it, and the market's been grinding higher and higher and higher. So that kind of goes to show you that if there's no news regarding the trade war, even though the trade war is happening, the market will grind higher. But now that Trump is threatening it, so there's supposedly there's a December 15th deadline. If there's no deal, more tariffs are going to go in place, and in part of the phase 1 deal, China wants the tariffs removed. So from what I understand, Trump is liking the tariffs. Let's here we go. Okay, so Trump is saying here, U.S. markets are up as much as 21% since the announcement of tariffs of March 2018, and the U.S. is taking in massive amounts of money and giving some to our farmers who have been targeted by China. I guess the question is, I don't know how to. Does anybody here know how to verify what happens to the amount of money that we get in tariffs? I don't know of a way to verify the spending or where the tariff income goes. Yo, JC, how you doing? So, that's what I'm wondering. He's been claiming for a while that the tariffs were making tons of money. They go right back into the treasury. Well, what would be funny though? I guess not be funny, but what would be interesting that if it got pumped right back into the stock market. So like the money that they collect from the tariffs, they then buy equities in the stock market with the tariffs. I'm not saying that can't happen, but that would be fun. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure where that money goes to. And then he said there's going to be tariffs on metal imports from Brazil and Argentina. So, it was Tariff Monday. Trump woke up. He was pissed about the impeachment hearings being taken place during the NATO meetings. And, he's flying out to go to the NATO meetings, and they're doing the impeachment hearings. And he said, I'm not feeling it, fam. But let's get into some of the trades. Thankfully, last week I pretty much offloaded all of my holdings Pretty much the only thing that I had going in today was Beyond and Google. Google, I cut for a loss. Now this is, I've been holding Google. I had a debit spread on there. So I've had a debit spread since November 26th. I bought the 310 call. I was selling the 1312.50 call. And Mateus, how you doing? I bought I sold the 312. I bought it for $1.35, sold it for $1.04. And on Google, let's go into, I was profitable on this. It's really my fault on this one for not closing it out. I was profitable, but I wasn't really happy with the 15-20%. I thought that this was going to grind up to 1320 area, but obviously that didn't happen. Thankfully, it was a debit spread, so I had a little bit of protection there. Today I said that if it drops below, if it tries to rip below 1300, I closed it out this morning at 8:38 this morning, so it was like 1301. Thankfully, I dropped it. I sold it because now that debit spread, I sold it for $1.04. I mean, yeah, I did have some time on it. I did have till December 13th on Google. Sold it for $1.04, but if I would have held it, I had the 1310. Yeah, it was only I would have lost another $30 on it. So I sold it for $1.04. It's now worth 70 cents. So I definitely made the right move. Definitely made the right move there. I definitely wanted to scale back, so I took profits at the end of last week, or actually mid last week, and I wanted to scale back because I didn't know what this month was going to hold. We just had, like, if you guys remember, in November, we had an epic run in November, and we just kept grinding higher and higher and higher. And Mateus bought the dip on SPY, so did I. But you're thinking to yourself, okay, last month in December, you don't want to get faked out. But then we got thrown the curveball with the tariffs, and I honestly thought Trump was going to kind of lay low for a while, but that didn't happen. So my very first day trade today on PanW, Palo Alto Networks, lost $70 right out the gate. So I bought it for $2, sold it for $1.30. Clean this up for you. Now this is what I was looking at on Palo Alto. So it was not a very good first trade for the month. So I started the day out down. I ended the day flat. So we got some money back, but I'm not sure which direction we're gonna go yet with this whole tariff. Usually with the trade news, it's the buy the dip event, but you gotta be careful because having expirations go into that December 15th. Yo, Daniel, how you doing? Glad you guys are here. You guys are the real fam. Come over here. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, hit subscribe, and you guys do me a favor, hit the like button. Thank you. So since we started the new channel, so we started the news channel last week. So, but anyways. Palo Alto, I've been trading a little bit. I made some money on the way down. It did a hard bounce from like 215 back up to 228. Today, I should have shorted. My mistake here was I didn't short this spike here. I shorted down in here because I thought we were kind of mid-range then. I thought we were going to go revisit like the 220, 218 area right in here. But that didn't happen. I bought the 220 put for $2. At 10:15, I sold it 30 minutes later. Got squeezed out. I held it a little bit longer than I thought that I was going to because it bounced right up in here, up to 224. I sold it when it was like 223.30 area, so at 10:48, so right in here. But thankfully I did sell it because it did go higher. But Palo Alto is interesting. So they missed earnings, they lowered guidance, they dropped a lot, but now they're coming back. I thought for sure we're going to come around like the 210, 215 excuse me, area, but not like bounce. I thought we were going to like sit here, consolidate, and kind of just sit in this range here. But it was it's interesting that it touched the 215 area. I think it even hit 214 or so, and then it bounced back. It bounced back up to 228. So I'm going to see what happens here, like the 228, 230 area, and kind of play it by ear. But it is a mover. So I mean, today it dropped from 228 down to 222 in the first 15 minutes. But on Friday, Thursday, last Wednesday, and then Friday, we had an interesting, Friday just kept grinding higher. And then after, I mean, I sold it down in here. On Wednesday, I had a short position on it, made some money, and it grinded just right up all day long. Reworks, how you doing, man? Kelly bought the dip on TLT. So sorry for the voice, guys. I'm still battling some sort of cold. I was losing my voice last week, and I only was able to make two live streams last week. My voice was just like Daniel. Yeah, BA is on the list here for things that I'm looking at. I watched it all day go down. So after Palo Alto and Google, we closed the crap out. I wasn't looking to really enter because I wasn't sure where we were going to go on the day. And my forehead looks extra shiny today. I got out of the shower, and I'm just looking at myself on the camera here, and it's just like, wow. Anyways, so I had a small day trade on SPY. So I bought it at 1048. I bought the 312 calls. I sold them at 135. So I held on to them for quite a while on the SPY calls. So I bought them at 1048. So right in here, and then of course immediately after I bought it, it drops down to like 311 area. But then I sold it. I did sell it at the top, like I sold it at 135. So I sold it up in here. It was like 312.50 area. Ariano, yeah, what's up? Yeah, F the trade wars, Screw the trade war. Holding positions on Diz. Yeah, Diz got axed too. So thankfully I did sell that. So I sold it for $1.39. So it wasn't a big gain. I did have two of them. So thankfully I bought more than one. I bought two of them for $1.20, sold them for. So it was like an 18% gain. So you can't really hate on that. What are those SPY calls going for right now? They probably crushed those calls. So I bought Wednesday. They're going for 91 cents now. So yeah, these are going for 91 cents. I sold them for $1.39. So we got out of that pretty nicely, actually. Then the other trade that I had on was BYND. Beyond, I bought the dip on BYND as well. I do have a debit spread for next week that I'm going to try to close tomorrow or something. That one took a hit today. But I only bought one contract for this week. I bought the 79 call for 219, sold it for 254. So again, like another 18% gain or so. It wasn't huge, but the nice thing is it really got me back almost to even. Google brought me down 31, but for day trades, I actually closed the day up. So I was down 70 on this day trade, and then I came back with another like 70. So only on the day trade side, we only closed up like $2, but I was glad to be able to make that money back. Beyond got hosed right at the open here. I mean, it got smashed. It went from basically like 183.50 all the way down. So if you look at here, within 30 minutes, it took a week's worth of gains. So what took a week to get up to here, up to 84, 83 area, what took a week, they gave it back in 30 minutes. So when it was leveling out here, though, I did buy the dip. I bought the 79 call at 11. So I bought it down in here when it was flat, and then I sold it at 135. So right up in here when it was starting to show some weakness. So I'm definitely glad that I sold that off as well, because that 79 call is probably, and they were still, suckers were expensive. 219. So yeah, the 79 calls going for 223. I sold it for 254. So you got to protect your gains. you can always buy more. Like the idea, the thoughts are going through your head when you have positions. So I had 2 3 12 calls. I had a beyond 79 call, and I'm riding right at the money. Right now, the thought kind of goes through your head. You're up. You're making money. You're up money. Things are going well. The thought that pops in your head at that moment in time is, okay, I'm making money. I can continue making money. And hey, if we have a gap up tomorrow, we sold off pretty hard today. If we have a gap up tomorrow, I'm going to be in a really sweet spot. Like if SPY goes to like 314, I'm going to be making a couple $100. If Beyond goes back up to 81, 82, it could be four to $500 day, right? But that is assuming that we're going to go up tomorrow, and that's assuming, because if it doesn't go as planned, so instead of making $400, I'm going to be losing $400. If we go the other way. So if we go down, and it wasn't worth the risk. So it was better for me to take the profits, because now both SPY and Beyond, which I day traded for a profit, would have closed at a loss. So possible swing trade opportunity with hedge puts. Go long on NVIDIA. So, Ariana, funny you should say that. However, I'm not long. Alibaba. So Alibaba, I bought right here. I bought a strangle for this week. I bought the 195 put. So it was a bearish skewed strangle. 195 put, 202.50 call for 194. My position currently looks like this. So I'm riding this. It's at 196.31 right now, and actually after hours we're up. It's up a little bit. It's at 190. It's actually down 6 cents. So it's 196. It's at 196.25. So right now I'm hoping it goes down to like the 192, 191 area is what my target is. The reason for this is because when we're in a trade dispute, or when trade news starts to circulate, BABA is like my go-to. BABA strangles are my go-to when trade news hits. So, and what also made it look a lot more appetizing to me is I'm thinking that we're going to be revisiting the 190, 188 area, kind of retest these highs up in here, and see if it acts as support, or if it breaks down and back under the 190, 188. So if it breaks down, goes back down, then we're going to be looking at another short below like 185 area. But this ran huge last week from 180 up to 200. They got listed on the Hong Kong exchange last week, so they ran pretty hard. So I'm looking for some profit taking. I'm looking for a reset, kind of come back down to the 190 area this week is why I'm playing it that way. Because also, NVIDIA got whacked hard as well because they get a lot of revenue from China. So Alibaba, NVIDIA, those stocks are exposed to China news. And, from past experience, China is not going to go down without some sort of, there hasn't been any tariffs in place, but China news is going to happen. The Chinese are going to fire back and say something. I don't know. We do have to December 15th, so maybe the short was a little premature because December 15th. So we have basically till next Friday, so December 13th. In terms of trading, they could make a deal. Excuse me. They could make a deal December 15th. Right before midnight. But we have till trading. We have till Friday the 13th, December 13th. We have until Friday the 13th in December, so till next Friday to make a decision on trades that we want to have on for that trade war or none. Kelly, I am looking at CRM. I'll pull it up in a second too. So that's why I played Alibaba. BA. So Daniel, BA. I was looking at it, and honestly, to me, I'm thinking that I kind of missed it. I thought that it was going to possibly hold the 360 and then go back up, but that didn't happen. So I thought it was going to really hold this area. Right now it's at 355. So I was actually going to put a position on, but I didn't want to chase. I didn't want to either direction. And implied volatility went up, so I'm looking for like a flat day on Boeing. Boeing had some news today as well. What was it? Let's see if I can pull this up. Boeing had news. Here it is. Okay. So Boeing invites industry members and analysts to visit executives in 737 MAX facilities to drum up support for the planes. Boeing has repeatedly said it expects to gain regulator approval for the planes before the end of the year, but the FAA says it has no timeline. So, they're trying to do what they can to get the 737 MAX, because if the 737 MAX doesn't come back online, obviously airlines for 2020 are going to be looking for planes elsewhere. Because they bought planes that are basically sitting in the lot right now and they're not able to do anything with. And I think that if there's no good news for Boeing, 340 easily. Yeah, if you would have took and held on to 220 put 12 days out last week, those contracts were worth $1,000 today. Yeah, for me especially, like Ariana, for me especially, what I've been doing, I haven't been doing a lot of day trades. Today was the first time I actually day traded in a long time, and the reason why I haven't been day trading is just because the volatility's been low, and I honestly didn't think that the news this morning was going to. I thought it was going to rally back harder than what it did, but it never did. I thought that we were going to see 313, 314. Because if you look at also like Netflix rebounded hard from 303 up to 309, still closed down red, almost 1.5%, $4. But Tesla was holding. I was kind of kicking myself because I was going to put on a credit put spread around 330, and it just got away from me too quickly, because I was thinking on Tesla, we had a couple flat days. It's been chilling at like 330. It dropped below, immediately got picked back up to 330, and then today it ripped up. So on Tesla, that's kind of what I was looking at, but it got away from me it went too fast. I don't like to chase, so I'm glad I didn't chase, because this would have been. It wouldn't have worked out. I mean, sure, you have premium burn and stuff like that, but I was looking for a better position. Yeah, I thought at that time they were going to start turning around on Friday, but they just never. Yeah, Daniel, I know you had a long position. Then you waited and you waited. Oh, I forgot to cover. I had one more position. Home Depot. I went long on Home Depot for next week expiration. I have a debit spread. I have I bought the 220 call, sold the 225 call, and let's look at Home Depot. So I have next week expiration. My position looks like this. So I bought the 220, sold the 225, and why I did that? We had to be very careful. Manufacturing data came back weak. We also have all the jobs reports and monthly reports for on Friday for last month. So unemployment, all that, we got to be careful. But the reason why last time it was in this area, 216, 217, it ripped back up to 220. I think that'll probably go to 220 eventually here. Resting back down at the support here around like the 218, 217 area. So it's retesting now. We'll see. If not, if it breaks below, since it's a debit spread, we'll close it out for a small loss. The risk is small. We have some time on it, so that's what I'm looking at. So I went long on that. So right now, going into tomorrow, I'm long Home Depot, short Alibaba. Home Depot's not, and also Home Depot. The reason why I like to trade Home Depot, a lot of people are like, why the heck do you trade Home Depot? Is they're not impacted as much by the trade news. So when there's trade news like this, Home Depot, you'll notice that it's not really impacted in that way. Today it doesn't look like that, but in general, today was probably more about the manufacturing data and other indicators. But when trade news rolls out, Home Depot really rarely takes a hit. So that's why I like to trade. That's why I like to trade Home Depot. Not saying it's like a safe haven or anything, just saying that if you're looking for more of a stress-free trade, go to Home Depot. Okay, Kelly, if you're still here, I don't know if you're still here, but CRM, I am looking at. I did pull up the chart. I was actually going to buy the dip here, but the dip was just so enormous and so quick. I didn't do it. Home Depot has earnings tomorrow after market close. I was going to try to do like a pre-earnings run up. Usually it runs up, but I didn't like where it was on the chart because now we have a descending pattern here. Because I was planning on it to be a swing trade. You know, premium's a little bit richer now because we have earnings coming up, but also theta decay is not going to have that big of an impact to it. But what I didn't like here, I was looking to buy the dip. If I bought the dip, I definitely would have closed it out like 160. If I bought the dip down here like 158, 159 area, I would have definitely closed out 160 and then, left the profits on the table. But they have earnings tomorrow after market close. What I didn't like, going back to what I said, is it tops out here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5 tops here at 165 area. And now we're descending here. People are taking risk off as it gets closer to earnings. People are taking risk off. So I wasn't sure. So I'm not sure where it's going to go. So I'm actually probably going to trade it after earnings at this point, just because I feel like the setup is a trap. I feel like this setup is a trap. I mean, yeah, we could come up to this could be good earnings, and it could pop up above like the 168, 167 area. It does have a $7.44 expected move plus or minus, so we could pop up to like 170, or it could easily come back down to like the 155, 153 area as well. I'm short 148 strike cent for 33 cents, so I mean, you're probably okay. But don't take my word on it. Last few times they did beat earnings. They jumped last earnings. The time before that they also jumped, but they typically, like, to the downside, don't move a whole lot. Like, this was a down. Earnings went down on this quarter here, and it didn't go down that much. So got paid with a 150 strike today. Sold early. Yeah, so I mean, you're probably okay, but again, you got to do your own due diligence. But that's kind of what I was seeing for the setup. I mean, you're at 148, you're outside the expected move, so you're probably going to be okay. But again, trade at your own risk. If you lose money, it's not my fault. All right, what other stocks you guys want to look at? Got a few minutes here. It looks like SPY. SPY's coming down a little bit. 311, 311.42. For SPY, what I was looking at here was a bounce at the 310 area. I thought that it was going to come down. Malik, how you doing? QCOM. I thought that was going to come down to the 310 area. It did not. Came down to like 311.20, bounced up. Qualcomm. Yeah, well, Trump's playing with the house money now. At least that's what he calls it. Qualcomm. I mean, yeah. After this earnings, I mean, they have it going on for the 5G pump and all that. But right now, I think we're probably going to be revisiting. I'm thinking like the 78 area, right down in here, especially if it breaks 80. But it's been a bad time. I mean, I haven't been trading Qualcomm. Probably should. It seems like it's been going okay. There's definitely been volatility, but if you look, so this earnings pump, and then we had another pump before this earnings, but you can see each time there was a pump before earnings, like in here. Here's earnings right here. It dropped down, kind of faded. Again, we had another pump before earnings, and then kind of faded. So this is kind of what happens when, I know for myself, like, there's been a lot of opportunity that I've missed because I haven't been spending due to the holidays and being sick and all that stuff. And that's not an excuse to not work, but spending time in the charts, looking at the patterns, looking at past events, kind of getting indicators, because once you learn how a stock moves, now every stock moves different. Once you learn how a stock moves, the more likely you are to profit from options on it. So every stock has its own personality. So this kind of shows what personality Qualcomm has. When a pop happens like this, just be ready to short it. But obviously collect profits. But this is definitely a nice short from 90 down to 82. For me, I think it's going to go to 80, and if it breaks 80, it's going to go to like 78, 77 area before like consolidating back in range again. What's my opinion on Tesla? Tesla, like I said, I think that it's much better buy at like for being long, like the 315, but it doesn't seem to want to go there. Yes, it's making descending highs here, but it doesn't seem like on a day like today. And I know that Tesla doesn't follow like SPY, doesn't follow Nasdaq, it doesn't follow Dow or anything like that. Any indice, it has its mind of its own. It's wild. It does what it wants to do, and that's why you can't necessarily like a stock like Netflix or Tesla. You can't necessarily just trade the direction of the day based on SPY or Dow or Nasdaq, because then you would have got wrecked today if you shorted. I guarantee you, people were like, "Oh, the market's down big today. Tesla's moving up. We're gonna short this," and they didn't make any money. They got hurt. So that's why you gotta be careful. So apparently Tesla is showing us some resiliency on with the Cybertruck event and with their earnings, and people apparently there are buyers for people that want to give over their shares. People are buying them up, and after chilling a couple days at like 328, 330, I think tomorrow will be telling if we come back down into the 330 range or if we try to pop back up to 340, because I think that what happens tomorrow is going to be important for Tesla. If it tries to make a run at 340 and trying to inch higher, then I think that obviously that'll give you your answer here. But in terms of Apple, I honestly want to go long on it like 310, 315 area, and it doesn't want to do that. Daniel Edwards, no, we didn't look at Apple yet. So Apple didn't do that bad today. They just sold off at close like that. Down 1%. It's not. It's bad, but it's not that bad compared. If you're looking at the 1 year chart, not bad. I would say let's see what happens at 260, because it has been bouncing off like the 260, 261 range. Last week I was short Apple, lost a couple $100. Luckily I made it back, but lost a couple $100 on the Apple short. I was playing the Apple short and it just couldn't break. I had the 260 put. It just couldn't break. It couldn't break it, and then obviously it's higher. It's still higher even after today. So, and the other thing is Trump is buddies with Tim Cook, so he's saying that he's going to be saying that Apple's exempt from some of the tariffs. So, what does that mean? It's not, what does that mean for Apple? Obviously, that's good news if they're exempt from tariffs. Apple did sell a lot of iPhones Black Friday. They sold a lot of AirPods Black Friday. I don't have the exact numbers right now, but I know you're long on SPY with the TLT balance looks like. I'm not long on SPY anymore. I sold it off, Kelly. I sold those off for 18% profit. I took that off. I didn't want to hold any long I didn't want to be long any positions overnight that were. I'm not saying they were sizable, but I didn't want to put that much risk on. Like I was saying, the risk was I could end up making $400 tomorrow, or I could end up losing $400 tomorrow, and the 50-50 odds I didn't like, so that's why I took my profits. When you are analyzing stocks to find, sorry, someone's calling me. When you are analyzing stocks to find patterns, do you set chart to one standard to 1 day, and when doing trading, which for 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes? So Malik, I trade 15-minute increments. I look at a period of 5 days here, so I have 15 minutes. I have the 15 minutes. So you can see here the 15-minute, 5 days. These are my favorites here, but I have the 5 day, 15-minute increments, and then I compare it to the 1-year daily chart. That's how I trade. Yeah, Kelly, I was too scared. I was too chicken to hold overnight. Yeah, agreed. All of them do tell different stories. Yep, no problems. Anyway, so I'm gonna run. I'm gonna be doing live streams. Let's be careful. Let's be careful going into this week with the trade tariffs. Possibly next week. Let's see what happens. Let's see what we can do. Let's trade safe. As always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.